Gary, how we doing today, man?
Oh, it's a wonderful day in early March, which means the state tournament in Ohio is coming up. So, butterflies everywhere for all wrestling fans this week.
I'll tell you who probably doesn't have butterflies because of the success that she had in the district tournament as a freshman. Austin Town Fitch's Reagan Koch, district champion. We're so happy to bring her on. We're gonna pop her in here to this show. If I can find it, there it is. There's the mouse. Reagan Koch, thank you so much for coming on to
Thank
talk to
you.
us. How are we doing today?
Pretty good so far.
Prob Pretty good so far.
Yeah.
I think your whole week is about to be pretty dang good. Talk to us about just what it feels like right now, going through this week and knowing your district champion and dealing with the butterflies and now going to state.
It's definitely a lot, and it's really safe to say it's overwhelming, especially as a freshman coming into everything. But it's a really good opportunity to have. There's definitely a lot that goes into it, though. So we'll kind of see how that goes this weekend, especially because it's a brand new experience for me. Um,
Well, Reagan, I was looking at the results from this season's district tournament to last season's district tournament, and man, what a difference Fitch had. I think they finished 34th last season. Doing that, going to district champs. What is it that I know you're only a freshman, but what is it in that room that made such a drastic, ascend to the top like that? What is it about that room? What do you see, and what do you think the reason is that you guys did so well this season?
there's a really big connection between all the girls on the team, and I think that we all have kind of this like fire inside of us that pushes us to want to win and want to compete. And our coaches are the ones that definitely light that fire. They push us in the room every day between like conditioning and just they make us want to be there.
Usually when we talk to freshmen that have such a big impact, the common thread is that the team and the program, the older girls or guys on the team, really make you feel comfortable there instantly. Can you talk about how this program made you kind of feel like you belong the minute you stepped into the room?
Yeah. So, I wrestle for Green Machine in the off season, and I have been since my first year. And so coming up as a freshman was definitely not as overwhelming as it would have been for some people, just because I kind of knew the people that I was wrestling with and knew the people in the room. And um, but I mean, every single person there just wants to wrestle, and having people in the same room as you with the same mindset makes it a lot easier to want to be there and want to compete.
So you're a freshman. How about your background in the sport? How long have you been doing it, and what got you interested?
This is my fourth year wrestling. Um, in sixth grade, my little brother had been wrestling for I think 2 or 3 years at the time, and I kind of wanted to try it, see what it was. Kind of dip my feet in the water a little bit, and ended up kind of just going all the way, I guess. Um, I didn't think I was gonna like it. Everybody told me that I was gonna hate it, and then I ended up being good at it, and then I ended up wanting to do it every day. So,
Reagan, this was a season where you had to deal with your own form of adversity. You missed the first half of the year with coming back from knee surgery. Talk about what that was like going through it, and what it kind of felt like to get back on the mat and to be able to have the success you've had with a little bit of time.
um, not being able to wrestle in the beginning of my season, especially because I wanted to go into it with such like a headstrong mindset, definitely. Um, I don't know. It was humbling, but being able to work myself back up and get to a spot where I was more successful than I was before, and I'm like just in a better mindset about wrestling than I was prior to my injury, it definitely makes everything more special, and it makes every win more kind of like from my heart as a wrestler, less of just winning because I'm there, less of because I want to win.
Every week we have a guest on here. I always ask this question. Every great wrestler has a drilling partner that helps make them a better wrestler. Who is your drilling partner, and what is it about them that makes you better?
Um, Oh boy, I have a few. Catherine Pontius, she's definitely my go-to in the room. But I, for live, there's always somebody else that I try and get with and try and just to kind of get some variation in the room. But Reggie Danko usually goes live with me, so he's a big help.
Not only are your wrestling skills top notch, but your photography out there. You're getting images of the team that great looks out there. Talk about what that's like and trying to capture this season through the lens.
Um, it definitely kind of it. Oh, I don't even know. It's so fun just to kind of be down there and be able to just get moments that you wouldn't be able to get like on a video, because being able to be down there and get pictures of people wrestling and in the emotion of the moment and in just in the match and before the match and after the match and get every little piece of it and just like stuck there, it definitely it's a really cool thing to be able to do and be able to have and be able to share with everybody else on my team.
Well, Reagan, you were a district champ, and I'm looking at your results here: a 2-minute pin, 35-second pin, 3-minute 24 pin. It looks, and then a minute 56. So you only had one person that got out of the first period. Were you laser focused for that tournament, and did you want that first place?
I have wanted to go as far as I can since the beginning of this season, and being the being given the opportunity to go to districts, it just kind of put me in a mindset, and I wanted to win it all from the beginning. So for sure.
When Gary's reading off those times, I'm thinking to myself, that's just not just winning districts, that's dominating districts. That's leaving almost no question about who the best wrestler was on the mat. How much confidence is that giving you into going into state? I mean, to feel like everyone in that district had no shot against you almost, and now you're going to the state for the next level. I mean, how much confidence do you have right now?
Um, I'm definitely up there, but part of being a wrestler and definitely as a freshman is not getting like too ahead of myself with everything. So I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna keep my head down, but I'm gonna wrestle with everything I got. So
So, do you see the sport growing at Fitch? The girls wrestling, is it getting more popular now that you guys are, especially probably this week? I would imagine you guys are probably getting a lot of attention from the other kids at your school. How has the buzz been in the hallways?
um it's definitely new for us, especially because um like even the boys, like we can go to some like big tournaments and it's not usually like this big like electrifying thing, but I mean, first ever girls district title, brought it home. It's definitely something that people are talking about. We have these news boards in our cafeteria. It's up on there. It's there. It's out there.
I know wrestling is such a tight knit community. The wrestlers in the area that either they compete against each other or they know about each other. I saw a picture of you and another pretty good wrestler that we cover from Poland, Ella Thomas, on each other's shoulders a little bit. Talk about the relationship with you two and how you both pushing each other to do great things in the YSN wrestling world.
I have looked up to Ella since my sixth grade year, and being able to wrestle at tournaments with her has been something that I've always really wanted to do. And seventh grade and eighth grade, we were both a part of Team Ohio, and just like even last year going to Indianapolis with her, she's such just a fun person, and she's such an amazing wrestler, and kind of being able to go and like, hey, we're gonna get first at this tournament, we're gonna get a good flick, like let's do it. It just kind of it makes the sport more fun, especially like big tournaments.
Okay, I have another question that I always ask, and we keep track of this of who our best answers are. It's the morning of weigh-ins. You stepped on the scale. You're a
Oh,
tenth of a pound under. What is your go-to post weigh-in meal?
oh man. Um, Ooh, I'm not a big meal person after weigh-ins because I get stomach jitters before my matches, but I get off that scale. watermelon Sour Patch Kids all the way. First thing I go to. Or like that little Airhead Bites for sure.
Nice. That's new. Those are new, Anth. We got to add
Those are
them on the
new.
board.
But just to expand that question, to try to get the answer out of you, when you are able to relax, when it's finally time to eat and treat yourself, then what is that go-to meal?
Calveras all day, every day. Oh my goodness. The chips and salsa, quesadillas, I could sit there and just the whole thing.
I think Mexican is pretty popular with wrestlers, Gary. The ones that we've talked to.
I know that seems like a theme here.
A lot of Chipotle. But that's the first Calaveras we've had, right?
Yeah, definitely is the first
fancy.
one.
Getting a little fancy.
So, I mean, I'm sure we know the answer to this. Your goal is probably be as high on the podium as possible. But do you have any other kind of goals that you're setting for yourself this weekend? Or are you just going in with the mindset you're going to do your best, or have you achieved all your goals for the year?
I don't want to say I've achieved all my goals because every time I reach one of my goals, you got to set a new one just so you can keep climbing that ladder. I would say I'm going there to win it. And if I'm not going there to win it, I'm going there to make it to third period in every one of my matches if I'm not ahead. And I'm going there to be a dominant wrestler, and I'm going there to stand out and get my name out there. I'm just kind of going in there head first and putting it all out there.
Reagan, I got some off the mat questions for you because I know you're much more than a wrestler as a person. My first question is what's been like the hardest part of transitioning from middle school to high school in the school life? What has been the trickiest part about transitioning with the schoolwork from middle school to high school?
Homework and honors classes. I kind of wasn't ready for it. Got slammed a little bit my first quarter or so, but I kept up on it. And still keeping up on it. But definitely the amount of work you get, and especially with honors classes, it doesn't help.
What teacher gives the most homework?
My math teacher, 100%. Every night.
It's always the math teachers, man.
Always math, yeah.
Always math,
So
right, Gary?
That's it. It's almost every time you ask that question, that's the answer we get. So you said you had a sibling that wrestled. We always like to ask when there are family members mentioned, who would stand at the top of the mountain in your family if there was a round robin wrestling tournament at your house?
Oh, probably me. Probably me.
Yeah. I'm sure
Right.
I would put Skittles on that for sure. Skittles on Reagan to win the family round robin tournament for sure. Reagan, let's talk a little bit more about the family though, in a serious aspect, the people that are there for you, that support you. What makes your family kind of unique and special to you? What are some things that you kind of think about your family that makes them so important to what you do?
Out of the 4 years that I've wrestled, and I played soccer when I was little and even volleyball, they have never in my entire life missed a game or tournament or meet or duel, nothing. At least one of my parents or one of my grandparents, like somebody was always there for me. And I think having that throughout my career as a wrestler so far has been super important to me. And it kind of just it makes me feel like I have someone in my corner no matter what. So
Reagan, my final question for you today is just going to be, what's next? I mean, we asked kind of the upperclassmen what the next step is after high school, but for you, you've done so much as a freshman. What's left on the big goals that you have that you want to accomplish maybe next year or the year after that?
well, after state, we're going to nationals, and Fargo this year for sure is definitely my biggest goal. And getting as high up on that podium as I can. I just want to climb high.
So, well, you answered my next question is what were your plans in the off season? And I think you Green Machine, Fargo, you got a full plate. So good luck with everything.
Yes, thank you.
Reagan, we want to thank you so much for coming on today and giving us your time and talking to us about your season. We are so proud of you for getting to state and winning a district championship. I know Austintown Fitch is as well. We're rooting for you hard, and Gary Althiser, along with a team of YSN people, will be down there covering you at the state, and we hope that we can get some thoughts about a state championship, hopefully, maybe for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Reagan.
Reagan Koch, freshman from Austintown Fitch, 1 year as a wrestler, 1 district champion, 1 trip to state. That's a pretty good way to start your career, Gary.
Oh man, it is. And looking at the team that won this district tournament, a lot of upperclassmen for Fitch. So it really, just to see how much they've improved as a team in 1 year, it's really crazy to go from finishing 34th at the district to first. And it's not like there's a bunch of freshmen that came in. Reagan came in, obviously played a big part of that. A lot of juniors and seniors on the team, they went to that district tournament as well. So really, I think that whatever they've got going on in that room with those girls, the chemistry they have, the motivation that the girls have, it has to be a good thing, because you don't make that kind of jump unless you got something special going on.
Gary, we have other great wrestlers that have also had great district rounds. Let's stay with the girls first. I know there were several girls programs and wrestlers that also made their trip to state. Can you talk about some of the great results that we had on the girls' side for districts?
Yeah, just off the top of my head, we know Ella Thomas got in from Poland. She had a teammate that got in as well. Katie Harshberger from Southern Local got in. A familiar face from East Liverpool, Paige Cowan, is there, and she has a teammate, Alana McGonigal, going with her there. So I don't have them right in front of me. Those are the ones I could remember right off of the top of my head. There's a wrestler from Hubbard. I think she's making her 3rd straight trip to the state tournament. It was a really good weekend for YSN on the boys and the girls side. And I think that Chris and I are going to be pretty busy this weekend.
Also, shout out to United's Austin Brown. Austin,
yes, United as well.
Who also is a district champion going on to state from the Eagles girls program, which has always really had a real good girls program, even before the OHSAA kind of labeled it as an official sport with an official tournament. United has had a strong program even before that.
Yes, I believe this is Dakota's 4th time qualifying, and I don't know if Austin is a senior or not. I think she's qualified every year. They have Coach Litsa there. He's got a good thing going on, and he has for a long time.
The Flynn girl is from Hubbard, right?
Hubbard.
Is that who
Yeah.
we're talking about?
Hey, there's only so many spots in my brain to remember everybody.
Emily Flynn.
They're all used up.
I'm trying to
man.
hook you up.
Used up. Thank you for the save. I appreciate it.
Well, that's what we do here, buddy. That's what
3 minds together should be able to get it.
By the way, this 3-shot is the absolute hardest to do, because we all have different cameras and we're like over here. I saw Gary adjusting, and then Anthony's like doing this off camera. Trying to do No, you guys did a great job with that interview. I mean, she did a great job as a freshman. Yeah. You could tell she was nervous early. Which probably summarizes, I would assume, what her season was this year. Little jitters early, and then was able to clean up and look at the success and what she's been able to do now. Gary, I mean, that's not normal, right? That's not normal to see freshmen being able to do what she's able to do.
No, she came in at 23-2, blew through her bracket, pinned everybody. There was only one wrestler that got to the second period. She's got to be on everybody's radar in that 155-pound weight class. And I just can't stop thinking about the improvement that the team has made. She's obviously in a great spot right now at Fitch.
And then when you add to it that she didn't even have her whole freshman year, right? So she had to miss the first chunk of freshman year coming back from knee surgery that she had in the off season. So that makes it even more impressive, because you don't get that freshman preseason workout to get acclimated to what it takes to be a varsity wrestler. It says, in December, you're going, and it's full go, and you don't have time to waste to get yourself ready for districts.
You don't have time to waste. It's a 16-week season. It's a long grind. That's the only good thing. If you do get hurt early in the season, have surgery, something like that, there is time to heal up and come back. So, hey, congrats to her for taking full advantage of that freshman year. And she's already at 27 wins. I can't imagine what her total would have been had she not missed anything.
Gary, she was talking about Fargo. Explain to everybody, the goofballs out there like me, that what she was talking about, because you were locked on with her. You knew exactly what she was referring to when I believe she said nationals. Can you walk us through that, how you qualify, and the chance of wrestlers around here going to Nats?
So it's the Greco and Freestyle National Tournament. It's held in Fargo, and that's the only word you got to say. You say if you wrestled in Fargo, or if you've done well in Fargo, if you're a Fargo champ, you're immediately on a national level. The best wrestlers in the country, especially those who wrestle year round, which is basically anybody that takes the sport serious is wrestling year round. There are qualifiers throughout the country that you have to place at a certain spot to get there, and you'll see a lot of kids doing fundraisers if they want to go to Fargo. Because it's not it's something that needs to be planned, and it's not cheap, and it takes a lot of dedication just to be able to qualify. You've got to do something right. So if she's already got her eyes locked on the off season. I mean, she's taking this sport serious, and if she does well there, I think that it's going to continue to translate here during the regular season.
What's the path like to get there?
Like I said, there are qualifiers, and I don't know where they would be. I mean, I think there is one in Columbus here, and it just would depend on, the state where they're held. I don't know exactly, the rules on whether you can wrestle in one state and not another. I don't know how it works there. I just know it's an absolute national stage, and if you watch later this month the NCAA men's wrestling finals, you will hear the word Fargo thrown around in the commentators, as they're talking about their high school career. And if you watch, the quarterfinals, semifinals, they're going to say, he's a Fargo champ, two-time Fargo finalist, things like that, because it does, it holds a lot of weight, because if you can get there and do something, you're legit.
Yeah, and I just love that there's a national tournament held in like Fargo, because when I think Fargo, I just think of the movie Fargo. So I'm thinking,
no idea
we're going...
why it's held there. I mean, I don't know the history of it. I'm not a big freestyle person. I'm folk style. I like freestyle when it comes to the world championships and the Olympics. But I mean, it's solidified there, and it's part of their community, for sure.
It's wild. I mean, you think about Fargo, there's nothing there. Nothing.
Big wrestling tournament. That's about it.
Well, that's it. Well, because it's funny you said that, because I've tried to get into and like learn more about wrestling and how to announce wrestling and all that. And I've heard them talk about Fargo. I just assumed that it was like a college national or qualifier that they were talking about. I had no idea it was the high school.
Yeah, and I think they do some college stuff, and I think that I think they do a last chance qualifier for the Olympics there, if I'm not mistaken. So they're well ingrained into the wrestling community. It's a northern state. It gets super cold there. It's no surprise that wrestling is popular there when in the middle of January, when it's negative something. You're not outside playing basketball like you would be in Miami. So it only makes sense that, a winter sport would be popular in a state like that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Gary, but the Green Machine is one of the elite programs in the area that's just known for sending people to Fargo. So when I hear wrestlers say that they wrestle for the Green Machine, I'm like, okay, you're pretty dang good. You got yourself going to a good spot.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive that's a freestyle club held in the Boardman area, and that's where a lot of the off-season kids that want to wrestle in the off-season, they'll go there. If if you're good at freestyle, you've learned takedowns. You're good at takedowns, and you're good at not getting turned from the bottom position. So if you can, perfect your takedowns during the off-season, work on those kind of things when you come back during the regular season. I mean, the amount of mat time that you have above and beyond what you're probably the average wrestler has is that experience goes so far in the regular season. Now, there's an old saying, summer wrestlers make winter champs. So it's not like there are wrestling mats and playgrounds. If you're out doing the work to get to doing these kind of events, you're just going to be so much farther ahead.
All right, let's spin it to this week. There's a lot of bubble guts going on around the state with people that are looking to be state champions potentially by the weekend, the end of the weekend. Gary, when you look at this, you've been there, you've done it, you've written the book. What should people expect? If this is their first time heading to states, what should these wrestlers expect What should they be focusing in on a Wednesday at this point? Because I'm sure there's a lot going through their minds. The parents are probably nervous wreck as well. What things and tips would you give them?
For the wrestlers, hey, it's the same size mat. It's the same size circle. It's you and one other person. It doesn't matter that it's in this giant arena with 10 mats and, tens of thousands of people watching. Don't focus on that, because the minute you do, you're taking your mind off of what you have to do. Don't look up. Get on the mat. Don't look up. There's no need to look up. Nothing that's happening outside of that circle has anything to do with you. Keep your head down. Keep focused on what you're doing. And that other person, they're going through the same things you are. So you're not getting somebody that has a leg up on you. You just need to remember you're both out there trying to obtain one goal. You just need to want it more. And as for the parents, hey, it's a great experience. It's nerve-wracking. I mean, it's very, very stressful for parents because of the high hopes that they have and the high hopes that their kids have, and their dreams could be shattered or their dreams could be made. Just let it soak in. Enjoy the moment. Take all the pictures with your kids that you can. Let your kid be a kid when they're not wrestling. Buy them whatever they want to eat. Buy them whatever they want to drink. Get them a T-shirt. Soak it up, because you only get so many chances to do these kind of things with your kids, and it'll be gone before you know it.
What I love when I see pictures of the arena down there and the setup, it's like, for a casual wrestling fan that's going down there, there's not a bad seat in the house, because no matter where you sit, you're going to have 2 or 3 mats that are right in front of you that you're going to be able to watch really great wrestling on. So there's really not a bad seat in the entire place when you're going to a state wrestling event. It's not like maybe like basketball, where if you're sitting on one end of the court, the other end you can't see what's going on. There's always wrestling right in front of you, no matter where you're sitting.
Oh yeah, you just for a fan. If you just go as a fan just to watch, if you follow high school wrestling, you're going to know some names, and that's the fun part, is just picking off. Okay, I know I got this mat coming up, this mat in 3 matches, this mat in 5 matches, and you'll watch the kids as they come out. It's really, really enjoyable to just be able to root for all the local kids, because then it becomes, okay, now it's our area versus the rest of the state instead of your school. When you go as a fan, you get really, I'll tell you, you get your money's worth, that's for sure. And for the price that you pay to get in, it is well worth it.
What's your favorite part of this week? I've been sent clips of the opening ceremonies, which I think are awesome. As a WWE and professional wrestling fan, I think they should do that every single time. I think everybody should have. You make it to state, you get entrance music to go to your mat. What's your favorite part, Gary?
It's the first round, because everybody's still in it. Anybody there can be a state champ. Nobody's eliminated. Everybody's still got a chance. That opening round is big. The stadium, the arena is packed, because all the parents, all the fans for every kid are there. That's when you feel you can really feel the excitement, the anticipation, the hope that everybody has. That's my favorite part. You get to the end of the weekend, you're going to have the diehards there that want to see the finals, and you're going to see the communities of the kids that are in the finals. But that first round is always my favorite at big tournaments, because of the hope and the buzz there is in the arena. Gary,
we always put you on the spot every week to try to put on that what was the word we used last week? Prognosticator hat?
Prognosticator.
Man,
I want to ask, like, how many state champions do you think YSN can realistically expect to have after the weekend's over?
Oh man, this is not fair. I would hope they all could be state champs. I mean, if I'm being completely and totally realistic, there are 5 or 6 kids that have a legitimate shot. Whether any of them will do it or not, I don't know. There are no guarantees. There were kids who wrestled this past weekend in some of these districts and some of these divisions who were undefeated, thought that nobody was going to touch them, taking losses. There were predicted state champs that now are not wrestling in the states championships this weekend. Anything can happen at this point. You will see kids who are going to be just fine with being a qualifier. I'm okay being a qualifier. And if they're okay with being a qualifier, then they're not going to get to the top of the podium. And there are other kids who nobody's taken serious, nobody thought they would be there, who are going to really surprise some people. I would say 5 or 6 have a chance. Who knows how many of them will come through? Maybe none, maybe all 5 or 6. That's the most you're getting out of me, man. That's it.
I was gonna drill down, but I was too busy typing in about the prognosticator on your nameplate there. I think I spelled it right. I shot in the dark. I went for it.
It looks phonetically correct. So
phonetically, it's right.
That's how I live my life. I just want to be phonetically correct, right? Gary, I mean, we're quickly wrapping up wrestling season and wrestling Wednesdays. Dude, I don't think people realize or appreciate how much time you put towards this segment, how much time you spend on, amongst many other things, looking into the stats of these wrestlers that we have on Wednesdays. Dude, thank you. Thank you for what you've done for the sport. Thank you for what you're doing across the board. We know it's not easy. Trust me, and without you and Colucci, and some of the cast of characters that we have on the side, these kids would still be looking for attention. And if we can just help one parent or one student athlete, feel better about the sport of wrestling and the dedication and sacrifice that they have on a weekly, monthly, annual basis, we feel better about what we do here at YSN. People don't realize you, dude, you, and you're going to deflect it. I know you're the reason that we have these Wednesdays, and I can't thank you enough.
Hey, man, I'm just very grateful that you guys asked me to do this. I'll be here doing it as long as you can. And I wish I had more brain space to remember every single kid's name and every single kid's accomplishment. But I hope that I do them justice. That's all I can say. And I'll be here until you kick me out, DJ. I'll be here to do it.
Well, I'm just proud of us all for wearing baseball caps today. We all have Major League Baseball represented. Who's on the back of that cap, Garrett?
Well, see, I'm a San Francisco Giants fan, full disclosure, but there was a Tiger. I couldn't not buy it. I had to buy
Detroit Tiger hat?
Yeah, there's nothing that says Detroit on it. It's the only reason I got it. So,
listen, I have a Mets hat on. I hate the Mets. I just like the hat, the black and the blue, and a little bit of orange for you, buddy. It's sharp.
Yeah, I'm a Giants fan through and through. I've got about 50 San Francisco Giants hats. And I look for reasons that I have to buy new hats. So this one just happened to be the one that I felt the urge to buy that day.
That's a tough colorway for you, black and orange. I bet you don't have much of that in your.
I had to dig deep to find something to match. I really,
Gary Althiser, we can't thank you enough, man. I know that you're busy. I know that you love this great sport of wrestling, and we love you. For loving it and certainly sharing your gift with the world, man. Best of luck. Safe travels down there. Best of luck. Hook up with Colucci. I'm sure he'd love getting some words from you and some advice and stuff like that. And have fun down there, man. I know how much you love it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'll be back next week with a full report on the weekend and how everything went. I'm ready to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the prognosticator, Gary Althiser. See you, buddy.
See you guys.